Well, Dota, teach the children how to sing.
The anger issues are kind of solved by the kid. You know what I mean? He's just like, oh, I'm so angry at Dota. Oh, baby.
That's great. Anger management with Shane. Yeah. We've got 50 seconds before we need to go. In fact, less than that. Gods, very quickly. DC, EHOME, which do you favour?
I favour EHOME. They look like the stronger team, and I think they have the edge in terms of experience.
Okay.
I'm with Gods. I would also favour EHOME in this matchup for sure.
I'm going to go the other way. I think in Game 3, DC looked like they could disrupt the early game with Misery, Sand King. Like all through that series, they look well. So I'm going to go with DC.
Yeah,
2-1. It's going to be close, though.
Yeah.
Like
you feel it's going to be close?
No.
Oh, God says no.
It could be. It could be.
I like the fact that God says so. No. Okay.
It's unlikely close.
Unless their mental state after yesterday's beatdown by EG might have affected their play.
Yeah, see, we haven't had a chance to talk to that. Maybe we'll get a chance in between the break. We're a few seconds away. Here we go then. Draft number 1, EHOME versus DC.
Ten seconds remaining.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. We are about to jump into our third series of the day. It's Digital Chaos back once again. This time they face EHOME. I'm back at my drafting desk with a couple of more Dota nerds. We got Winter, we got Black, and we got Draskell back once again. Gentlemen, draft underway here. EHOME, they get the Shadow Demon Kunkka combo that's been happening throughout this tournament so far. And DC, straight to the Naga, and then they grab up the ET.
Seems like very comfort zone picks for both teams, honestly. Like EHOME maybe more so. Like Lanham, I think, is the one player who really brought Kunkka back into the meta. He was showing how powerful it could be throughout the group stage, even before that in the TI6 qualifiers. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious what DC's game plan is going to be with their opening. Make space for the Naga.
I mean, they've tried it before. It went like horribly wrong.
I mean, yeah, but if you feel confident in the strategy, you kind of have to play it, right?
But do you want to put resolution on that kind of hero? That's the main question.
Yeah, he likes to be like aggressive, right?
DC's turn.
But I can still see them doing it, but obviously there's still flexibility. You can change it to a support somewhere later on if you feel like it's necessary, but...
You know, like sometimes during the draft we discuss about how, oh, this is the best pick for the situation, but we don't really talk about how sometimes the consideration of the captain is this the best hero for my player?
10 seconds remaining.
Like, you want him to be super comfortable on the hero instead of just picking what's best for the
5
situation.
seconds remaining.
Well, if you were the drafter and Black was your player, what would you draft for him? Between his 2-3 heroes.
Reserve time.
Wait, what's his third hero?
I don't know. I gave him the luxury of an extra hero in there.
Anti-mage.
That was one of the two, actually.
Terrorblade or Invoker.
Ah, there it is.
But
Fair
only
enough.
Exort Invoker, right?
Yeah.
No, Quasworks is fine.
Oh, okay.
But I farm.
That's kind of like 4 heroes. That's kind of 4 heroes, right?
Anyway, Lanham brought like a completely new skill build and item build to Kunkka. He's going for like this armlet build, kind of transitioning into like a semi-carry, and he's actually ignoring X. Usually until like level 8, he would max Tidebringer and just level 2 in Torrent and 1 in Ghost Boat.
They do a very interesting strategy where a lot of the time they give Lanham a lot of farm priority after the laning phase breaks down. So either it's like a mid or a safe lane hero that rotates a lot, and then he gets farm like phase, armlet, and drums and stuff like that. And then he has like much bigger influence in the team fights as long as the spells land, which after watching him play it a ton of times, he's really good at planning his torrents.
If you think about it, there's actually not many good items on a support Kunkka. Like armlet is actually probably the best item.
Yeah, because it buffs Tidebringer a ton, and that's what you do in the fights, and also makes you super tanky.
With the ghost ship, it's very good with that.
Yeah, people went like Avalanche and Aghanim Scepter and stuff like that. It was like so bad.
I mean, Aghanims can be good in some situations, but it's one of those items that's super luxury, and I probably wouldn't buy it unless it was like a 4th or 5th item.
I would love the axe on Kunkka if you couldn't BKB while you get dragged, but you can BKB while you get dragged. It's like really
if it was like vacuum, it would be really good.
Yeah, it would be kind of OP too.
I mean, you guys are not Kunkka players. Lanham is a Kunkka player. He's not gonna buy Aetherland. He's gonna buy armlet.
I didn't say he was gonna do it. I just said that I think that it's okay later.
Remaining.
Like the Aghanims, not the Aetherlands.
No, just no.
Anyway,
so DC have Timbersaw, more deep push, so you got more time for Naga to draw out the game. But it's very clear what they want to do. There's still even the Kotl, according to Dakota, the best hero in the game.
The greatest hero in the game, yes.
Kotl is pretty awesome, especially if you're like super good. You get X marked, you know, you like time the recall just right. As soon as you get returned,
you can't wake up in the morning without the light. That's what I hear.
Well, yeah. That's what Lanham thinks too.
You guys are terrible. Like EHOME needs like
Sand King?
Sure.
I'm so good.
Turn
Third pick is going to be a Sand King here.
I mean, it's a lot of melee from DC, so pretty much no matter wherever the lanes shape up for EHOME, the Sand King should have a pretty favorable matchup.
It's usually off lane. Support Kunkka, support SD, usually rotating together, making lots of space for Ice. Usually they play this like 4 protect 1 style where they have like really active heroes on 4 people, and then Ice is just farming here,
Yeah, let me ask you, Black. If this game you're the Naga, you want to go mid because you want to avoid the Sand King. So if you're EHOME, do you put the Sand King mid and you just make sure the Sand King follows the Naga everywhere?
The thing is, like, if you outmind game yourself, you might end up putting that Naga against the Sand King, even though you don't really want to, because like you're reading into it too much. And maybe if they get like another good support here, they can actually like just zone them out of the lane. Also a possibility. Well, now it's not a possibility anymore because safe lane Evoker is pretty bad against Sand King.
Yeah. Do you think they might actually do crosswax this game? Because if you want to play a Naga type of lineup, it's much better.
Okay, I think they should, but I've seen Whis. Oh, God.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
We have
This is the Black Dream game.
2/3 of Black's heroes already picked up in this draft alone. This is amazing.
Dude,
Black,
it's so good.
Black, just go ham right now, man.
I mean, I don't know. Like, you see this game, you would just like love to play anti-mage. You play against Timber, you play against Evoker, you play against Naga. Or the only problem you have so far is Titan. But you can just transition into getting an AC later on. It's like a really good item on AM, and you won't have any problem like dealing with the lineup whatsoever. I love it.
Yeah,
3 mana void targets as well.
It's very good against the type of game Naga wants to play because she wants to split push and you can deal with the illusions very easily as anti-mage.
Yeah, and you can even like push out the lane really easily yourself. But like TC's draft is really greedy if they don't go for the Quartz Wax. And as I said before, I've seen Whis Quartz Wax is like his Quartz Wax is like Quartz Exort is like 3 times better.
I mean, this is like going back to what I said. It's best for the draft to go Quartz Wax Invoker, but for the player they will go Exort Invoker.
5 seconds.
That's usually what they do, and they're like pretty greedy. They definitely need like a last pick that.
Space Maker.
Yeah,
like a Coddle would be perfect, but
this band, no.
There's still CM. I think CM could also be possible. You don't need much farm.
So CM Naga is really good too because you increase her farm capability by like a lot.
Elder Titan and Timber, so it's like, CM Aura.
I mean, everybody loves CM Aura. I play like a Pudge.
No,
CM Aura is so good.
Lifestealer doesn't like CM. Okay, maybe not.
If they pick something like CM, don't you feel like there's a possibility that EHOME just send another hero top lane with the Sand King?
Yeah, like a dual lane, like what we've seen from Liquid, the Sand King Kunkka lane. Super strong. Shadow Demon Anti-Mage will easily take care of the Timbersaw. Shouldn't be a big problem at all.
But what if Elder Titan is in the bottom lane as well? Two heroes against 2 heroes.
Then it's gonna get very problematic. And they would actually need like a try.
Wouldn't you prioritize making sure AM gets farmed?
I actually would start with like 3 heroes bottom. And make sure the Timber doesn't get to the early level 3, where it gets problematic for the AM lane. And then after that, you can maybe rotate the Kunkka to top lane. The Razor last pick, like Razor is early levels for sure, and then Invoker counter on the lane. Like Invoker can't do anything about it. Like he just stands on your hill and.
10 seconds remaining.
But for the lane matchup, Exalt Invoker would probably be better having the Forge Spirit.
Yeah,
or you think it doesn't matter? He's gonna lose the lane either.
I mean, he's gonna lose either way probably, but when you have the Forge Spirit, you can actually fight him when he wants to drain you.
So Venge is gonna be the last pick up here. More minus armor, more Roshan. I think I like DC's draft more.
DC's draft for winner?
I'm gonna say DC as well.
I think I have to go with the Anti-Mage, guys.
Of course. So.
Of course you do. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and throw it courtside right now where we got our casters. It's once again going to be Capitalist and Blitz.
In a tournament that has featured so many underdogs, it is a pleasure to be able to see one of them, Digital Chaos, facing up against some veterans in EHOME. This matchup should be a very interesting one, as we're going to head into a matchup that Animage facing up against an Invoker and a Timbersaw analyst. Well, most of them anyway, backing DC, excluding Black, who would always side with an Animage draft.
I do think this is a very good anti-mage game. A lot of people think that Naga does pretty well against anti-mage, but I think anti-mage just pushes the pace faster than she likes, and he's going to get 6-slotted much quicker than her. I think it matches up very well against the Invoker, so
prepare for
kind of feeling EHOME's draft right now.
All right, well, we're going to start things off already with some early movement. EHOME pushing out with Old 11, trying to get some aggressive vision down. Already some deep wards being placed, one right by that mid tower, and another one going to be placed in the Dire jungle. Hoping to be able to get as much information out of Digital Chaos's rotations and what exactly their laning phase is going to look like. No information being given away just yet, though, because Digital Chaos have gone for a smoke of their own, trying to get their positioning set up for what could be an attempt at a first blood.
Right now, EHOME About to clash as they run into Misery.
Misery on the Naga Siren is going to be hit. Oh, not actually going to be hit by that Torrent. Looks like that Wind Lace gave them that slight movement speed advantage to be able to stay ahead of that one. And despite Digital Chaos running into EHOME, nothing is really going to come of it. So it's looking like we are going to be having Saksa is going to be playing the Elder Titan. We have Resolution playing the Vengeful Spirit in this game. Misery on the Naga Siren. Moo is going to be left at what looks to be a safe lane farming Timber Saw. And DC going to run all out on the aggro Tri lane. Blitz, what's with this switch up? The early Naga Siren pickup, it is a bit of a strategical advantage, right? To be able to say, we've got this Naga Siren. You think it's a core, you think it's a core, then we switch it up, we pick it up as a support. But why specifically Resolution with the Vengeful Spirit? What is DC going for here?
I think they just want to push pace. They want to carry a hero that can match up well in terms of right clicks with the anti-mage early on. And Vengeful Spirit does just that. It also allows you the option of going for the aggro tri-lane, which is what they're doing right now. If you put a lot into that Naga Siren, she gets directly countered by that anti-mage like we discussed, and that's possibly the worst position that you want to be in when your cores just lose 1-to-1. And so I think DC have made the very smart decision to swap. The downside though is they are going to have an ET Naga Siren lane, which double melee you don't ever want to see. Is they're going to run into Misery right here.
Bottom and Fenrir. This is a duo with the Disruption and Torrent that guarantees some damage on one hero, but it may not be able to deal with a full aggro tri-lane. We'll have to see how this unfolds and whether or not DC are able to keep up the pressure on Ice Ice Ice. Our mid lane is going to be Weehaw the Invoker facing up against Old Chicken's Razor, and top lane Old 11 on the Sand King against Moo's Timber Saw.
Yeah, and I think in this lane, the Sand King will do okay. They should both be able to trade farm. It really just depends on how far Moo decides to try to push things. He did get the double regen, whereas Old 11 decided to go for a little bit less regen, but invested in that Quelling Blade early on to help him CS. Obviously one of the better pickups in conjunction with his Caustic Finale, and we're already seeing him kick off to a pretty decent lead at this top lane in terms of harassment.
Yeah, this first like 1 or 2 minutes is so important for the Sand King versus Timbersaw matchup. It's all about that Caustic Finale for the Sand King, and if he can burn through that regen that Moo is stacked up before we see the later levels where Reactive Armor acts as a natural regeneration for the Timbersaw, keeping him healthy.
Right now, just continuing to push the lane up. As in this bottom lane, this is going to be the lane to watch. If DC can do okay here, that could just determine the game for them, but EHOME just constantly trying to pull the lane back. Very big for them to be able to do so, as they're going to deny quite a decent amount of XP. And you already see
Torrent not going to land once again. Misery, as a result, will snag that bounty rune away from Lanham. So the aggro tri-lane going okay. It's not stopping Animage's CS just yet. And it is coming at a very distinct cost to some of the other DC heroes. Weehaw as the Invoker. Our panel mentioned it. The Razor is going to be able to do a lot of harassment against that Invoker. Really press into him with that static link, and we're seeing how the Sand King is faring pretty well for now against the Timbersaw, though the tides may turn as we get to level 5 and 6 and the Chakram comes up for the Timbersaw.
and the early rotational power of the Sand King might beat out the Timbersaw by a little bit, but when it comes to farm, you should be able to catch up quite nicely, especially once you grab your Bloodstone into the Boots of Travel. And meanwhile, Old Chicken continuing to just zone out this Invoker, which is what we expected out of this lane.
Ooh,
that bottom.
Stun, Ice Ice Ice, going to be disrupted as the snare was attempted by Misery. Power of that defensive hero. We're seeing so much of this Shadow Demon in this tournament, and there's not really much of a question why. A lot of illusion-based heroes being run around, and you can always use some sort of support to be able to save an important core like that.
The good news for DC is they do have a really easy way to deal with the illusions in this Timbersaw. He's going to clear them up quite nicely. There's going to be a point though where when it comes to the high ground siege, if you kill anybody, it's going to be quite easy for EHOME to take fights. And for DC side, they could go for a decent Rotron timing just because they have this Exort Invoker. But at the same time, I think EHOME would really like to fight around the pit, as up at top, Moo trying to get aggressive, and it looks like now he's starting to be successful.
Yeah, once he hit that level 4 and now level 5, he's got the high levels of reactive armor, and he's able to just sit with the creep wave on him, and all the Caustic Finale hits in the world won't allow Old 11 to really push back Moo, or maybe I spoke too soon. Moo's actually dropping decently low, and maybe Sand King with a level 6 could do something. Bottom lane, Torrent goes down, but the Invis is picked up first. Bonham's going to be pursued out here. They're going to get some decent damage. They will try and follow this up with a Sunstrike. It's going to be close. The body blocking is there from Saksa, and Mercy on the other side. They sandwich Bonham for the first blood.
Very well done by DC. The two supports always beating EHOME to the punch when it comes to the rune twice now.
Now bottom lane, Old 11 is getting a close battle. Old 11 forced into a Fairy Fire use, and Moo, he's dropping quite low as well. He's got the high levels of reactive armor. So he will start regenning up, and now the healing sound will keep him alive. Back to full HP for almost both of them. A lot of damage
Getting
going
quite
out.
low.
Oh, he's going to be hit by the torrent as well. Needs a Timber Chain away. Gets a little bit of distance. The Cosmic Finale will finish him off. EHOME, they finished with an appropriate response, losing their Kunkka. But the Kunkka's rotation up the top gets them the counter kill.
Absolutely massive. Being able to get any sort of kill in a solo lane 1v1 matchup is going to be huge. And this should allow Old 11 to start to snowball in this lane. At the same time, Timbersaw does have what he needs in the arcane boots. And he's just going to make his way back up here. Mid lane, Invoker's still only sitting at 9 TS. They were really hoping to give him this kill. If he was able to get first blood and some XP, he would have been okay, but Old Chicken just bowling him out of the lane.
Is under attack.
He is currently suffering heavy, which means Digital Chaos need to be able to buy some space for him. They're going to come in with a 2-man support rotation and snare into the stomp of the follow-up. Sunstrike should be easy. The damage not quite enough. The right click will finish him off. 1-2 now.
Very well done by DC. They understand the weakness of the Razor is he is susceptible to these ganks. This hero heavily relies on being able to get that early start off, just because he doesn't have the ability to flash farm or split push like some of these other heroes.
Mood chases away the Sand King in top lane. Didn't get his Chakram in time, though, to be able to finish off Old 11. Just chased him back to the tier 1 tower.
And Ice at bottom just continues to plug away with this farm, and he's doing just fine. Resolution, though, leading the game.
It's going to be tough. He's got a high level of reactive armor. Moo, he's going to try and survive. He gets the kill. Now the heavy amount of damage coming out from Old Chicken, but the armor is too much. Even if he steals all this damage, Moo thinks he can fight it out. He's got to truck him. We'll be able to slow down Old Chicken a little bit further. Saksa is coming in.
Gets the stun.
Stop. Old Chicken left like a sitting duck.
So well done by DC there. As Moo baited that out for so long, he didn't fear the Razor whatsoever. Buys enough time for Saksa to make that rotation up there. And meanwhile, at bottom, Resolution has largely been left alone in this lane, and he's picked up the levels in the farm required of him.
He certainly is. He's top of the CS board, and he's keeping the Animage, well, not entirely out of CS, but manageable. It's 26 and 5. Ice is about to pick up his level 6, though, and we may see an engagement as that kill opportunity presents itself, or maybe the other way around. They managed to get the stun. Oh, not enough mana there. Looks like a bit of miscommunication or miscalculation coming out from Digital Chaos. If they had that ensnare with the Sunstrike, it surely would have been a kill.
Still, the fact that they were able to leave Resolution alone at bottom, normally when that ends up happening, the carry just kind of has to go into hiding. He has to stop CSing and wait for his supports to come back. But he is playing so aggressively onto this anti-mage, and he's still picking up a good amount of farm while his team is accomplishing a bunch of kills around the map. And DC, as a result, are effectively doing very well in all 3 lanes. Now this Invoker is caught up as a result of that gank, and they are in a much better position than they were.
Resolution gonna be hit by the torrent. The squishy vengeful spirit carry will end up going down. The stomp is there. Gives Misery the space to retreat, but they've lost their carry.
Bound to happen at some point is EHOME finally strike back. They get the kill on the right target. Ice picking up the last hit. And things kind of reset in this bottom lane at the same time up the top. This Timbersaw is just
Snanger, stun strike, it's close. The stomp is there. A little bit more damage from Riptide. But Ice gets away. The sliver.
That's perfectly fine. They're still putting a lot of pressure on him, and they're going to send him back, allow Resolution to get some space, and I think this will prompt both the supports to move out of this lane and get aggressive.
That Endage rune, Fenrir, will be set up now. The Torrent will be on the march. Weehoff, his life is forfeit. Yet another king coming in from EHOME.
This map is just going everywhere as the 2 supports on either side able to create space around the map. Up the top, who just continues to farm.
Radiant's bottom tower.
That's one of the big advantages, right? Is that DC, they're able to, with just their core at bottom lane with Resolution. Actually, they're going to hit the stomp here. Ice, unable to get the blink away. Not much they can do to stop him from blinking away, though, if he chooses to. No follow-up disables
Dire's
there.
middle tower
But if it's
is
just
under
Resolution, the Vengeful Spirit, matched up against the AAM, and it's just Timbersaw facing up against the SK, there's a natural amount of aggression.
Gotta go for Ice.
Put out another ensnare, another
They might
stomp.
just have enough damage for this if they time this.
Oh,
Radiant's
he
bottom
tried to time it with the
tower is
right
under
click, and then the
attack.
Riptide immediately following up, trying to get his maximum amount of damage there. Not enough to finish him off. Again, Ice, surviving with just 50 HP.
I believe they could have killed him. The
Radiant's
sleep
bottom
duration on the
tower
level
has
3 stomp is quite long, but DC got a little bit antsy there, and they needed Soxa to also get the hit off.
Ooh, disruption, stopping the Timber Chain out there. Soxa is here though. The Burrow Strike completely whiffs there.
Old 11's getting quite low. He's got to be careful. Without the disruption available, this Timbersaw is going to feel very strong.
3 to 4, 10 minutes in. Soxa, careful where you walk, my friend. There is an Observer Ward. Watching his movements, if he steps a little bit too far to the south there, he'll be caught by the combo of Lanham and Fenrir.
Meanwhile, at bottom, Resolution, look how far pushed in he is. Ice. Not loving this game so far, as the Vengeful Spirit just able to trade so efficiently with him, and he's even gonna blink forward for creeps, and they're pinging at bottom. They know he's used its blink.
They're going to be able to catch it. Looks like with the Sunstrike, they should be able to finish him off. The TP's come in. They're looking to be able to punish Resolution, but it's only Lanham who's completed his TP. Up at top lane, the fight rears on. Now, Moo hopes to be able to catch Old 11, but slowed down by the Purge, won't be able to catch up.
And not really willing to contest that, as at bottom they managed to set up for another kill.
Old Chicken comes in, will be able to catch Resolution at bare minimum. He tries to chase out Misery, but Misery is too quick with a Naga Siren, won't be able to catch up.
Still, during this time, Weez almost got his fully completed Midas. And DC are doing such a good job at controlling this bottom lane. And Ice, we talked about how important he was going to be. If he was going to be against the Naga Siren core to core, I would have felt much more comfortable if you're an EHOME fan, but in this type of game, Resolution is just applying so much pressure. He's getting a lot more farm out of this, and the anti-mage, his game has been slowed down by so much.
Yeah, as we kind of alluded to, the core matchups there on the side lanes, favorable for Digital Chaos, and as a result, both the AM as well as the Sand King only sitting at a 3K net worth mark, while the rest of Digital Chaos's cores are all sitting at 4K.
Yeah, Ice. Even missing some last hits here, he doesn't have that Quelling Blade yet. And his game is very much slowed down, and DC have very good ways to deal with him in the mid game with this Timbersaw when it comes to damage. And he's already almost got his Bloodstone. Looking at half the components as he's going to push in this wave. Fenrir just going to pick up levels up at top. And EHOME trying to go for a 4-man play at bottom, but Resolution's just going to wait by his tower.
Yeah, he has that wave of terror. When the creep waves come in, he can always pull the creep wave off the tower back into the tier 2. Now, they did just get a scan. Successful on Resolution, so they know there's a hero there. They know there's an opportunity to be able to dive. But Resolution is just playing this so damn safe. And now, oh, look at this tricky maneuver. Old 11, he just found his way in, burrows through the trees.
He's slowly doing it. One more tree. They don't realize how close they are.
Another Quelling Blade might just see him, but Vengeful Spirit backs out at just the perfect time. Shows himself now with a wave of terror. Tier 1 tower will fall. EHOME take it.
Still, that was a 4-hero commitment with all the cores available on the map, waiting for that tower push. During that time period, everyone just continues to farm. Weehop playing the game where he's just being patient right now. He's letting the game develop. He's not trying to make anything happen with his team. He understands with this Midas, he's going to passively get ahead of this Razor.
All the left more pressure up on Resolution. He got his way into the trees, in range with the Burrow Strike. Resolution not dead yet, but will fall underneath the tier 2. Moves here now, chases down. Old 11 misses the Chakram though. He needed that one to land, falls it into the trees, will be able to get it.
And Old 11, he did have that Burrow available, but goes for the churn rate. And Moo gonna pick up that kill. A lot of experience on his side as now he's level 11. Just 400 gold away from that Bloodstone. His timing is going to be very good, and DC, there's always that threat of this Invoker constantly farming. This Razor had to show himself bottom so frequently. Now he's going to go contest the lane as Ice. They're making a move
here. He needs to blink in the right direction, and it's not south. That's where Misery is. So blinks a little bit farther to the left. Ice heads his way into the trees, and is ready to go with another blink. So DC, do not pursue. We'll just try and control the Radiant jungle, denying Ice any farm.
Still, they have largely done such a good job at this bottom lane of continuing to control him up. Now Resolution going to go to this top lane and try to treat himself like a true core. As this Razor is getting pretty farmed right now. Has that Ogre Club available, DC? It looks like they want to avoid these 5-on-5 fights despite being a little bit ahead. Probably for the best, as EHOME's team fight is so scary.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is really the best way, right? They have this one core that is rather farmed. That's the best way to utilize this Razor. Just go for those 5-on-5s. EHOME gonna find Misery with the disruption. Not close enough on Lanham though to be able to hit the torrent. I believe that's another smoke that won't find a latch.
Yeah, the biggest thing about this Razor, whenever you play against him, you don't want to be in the same lane as him. So you constantly will shift and adjust. So wherever the Razor goes, he can start to bully out a core. And that's exactly what he's doing when he shows up mid. But Weehawk continues to farm. He's got very good timings on him. And up at top,
gonna be ensnared up. Defensive torrent laid out just to make sure that Digital Chaos can't pressure forward. They are going to have Moo making his way mid, but I don't think they could really do anything to this Razor. So eventually, when EHOME start going for this 5-man, what do DC need to do to respond? Do they go for a split push game with their Exort Invoker and their Timbersaw?
it's actually DC that want to push the pace for the time being, just because the Sand King has shown that he still doesn't have Blink, and now they're creating a lot of time for this anti-mage to catch up. It's actually DC that are pressured, because if you just continue to ignore this AM, he will have a decent game once again. Like, he's already catching up quite quickly to Resolution's amount of net worth.
Yeah, he's neck and neck now. After being a full 1,000 gold behind Resolution, he is now sitting at that 5K marker right next to Rezo, who just has himself some treads and a Helmet Dominator. Double damage.
Right. This is what you want out of your Timbersaw. You want him to just bully this anti-mage out as much as he possibly can. And that's going to open up some opportunities, though, for EHOME until this Timbersaw gets Boots of Travel.
Sand King. Ooh, smoke up from DC. Well, our Sand King, 11, he does have his Blink Dagger now. And this could definitely swing the team fight favor into the advantage of EHOME. Try and set up at the top lane. Misery is already low at 600 HP. If he starts the epicenter and is still in range for the Blink Burrow Strike, he's just going to lead. Blink Burrow Strike and a Torrent. No opportunity for a Song of Siren while they take out the Animage at bottom lane. A very clear advantage being won by DC, taking out the carry of EHOME in exchange for losing their support. They're also going to lose their tower, but it looks like Weehawk has found himself a Shadow Demon kill as well. Fenrir goes down, and just like that, EHOME, they're pressuring the tier 1. DC say, you can have it, we'll take Roshan instead.
Normally, this is the type of trade that's worth it if EHOME were to push for this tier 2 as well, but they are nowhere near getting that tower. And DC, they are very happy to trade this, especially after killing 2 of the heroes on EHOME side, slowing down the anti-mage's farm. This means that there's no split push going on. There's almost never going to be a better opportunity to get this. We talked about how it's going to be important for this Exort Invoker. And DC with a very decent Roshan timing, 17 minutes in. That enables the Invoker to grab Boots and Travel, and they're just going to pressure all around the map now.
Yeah, they most certainly are. Not going to be surprised by that Blink Dagger, the Sand King, either, now that that's been revealed. So DC feeling in good control of this game with the Aegis in hand, a Bloodstone picked up by the Timbersaw. These next few minutes of progression are so important for DC to be able to start establishing a grip on the game, start pulling up those Bloodstone charges, start winning these team fights. Lanham gonna lead the way here with the classic maxed out Tidebringer that he's introduced into the TI meta off of Kunkka. Not gonna be enough to push away Digital Chaos though. Tier 1 tower is still taken at the mid lane. Oh, Epicenter going down. Resolution going to be dropped here and left. Oh! He actually has so much HP now as he's got the levels. Weehawk comes in with the boots and travels, but now he's overextended himself. He's going to be perched up.
Here comes
Boom coming in with the reinforcements. Will be able to catch Fenrir. They'll hold snap, holding him in place. Disruption. 2.5 seconds of reprieve, but he'll still fall.
And very big for DC is they don't lose the Aegis or Resolution. The Sand King ultimate epicenter was expended for this, and DC are just going to push. This is very natural for them. There's no split push going on in this top side, which is what Ice really wants to do, to try to get DC to go back. You notice that it looked like he wanted to make his way up there, but instead they go for this mid pressure. But DC should be able to be greedy here and defend both this mid tower and take that tier 2 at bottom.
Old Chicken gonna be pursued out here. Swap back. Resolution. That's a level 2 swap already. And 18 minutes in, catching Old Chicken off guard. Will be able to take him down.
I mean, DC are just looking incredible right now.
playing this fast-paced game. The Aegis does go down, but they manage to get a lot of in exchange. Now Weehaw fights it out with old 11. Will be Burrow struck up, and Fenrir is here as well with a perfect. Looks like Weehaw is not going to be able to make it out of here. Top lane, jeez, it just doesn't stop. Moo almost found Ice Ice as well.
And Ice not even close to that Battle Fury, and he's not finding space around this map as DC are just playing really well. They're utilizing their map pressure with their Boots of Travel Invoker. They're getting aggressive all across the map. Their supports are where they need to be right now. This Resolution Vengeful Spirit has done so much work.
Yeah, it certainly has. You saw the way they initiated on him in the bottom lane. This is no longer your level 5 Vengeful Spirit, kind of susceptible to nukes. This is a level 11 Vengeful Spirit with Power Treads, possibly Strength most of the time, Helmet Dominator, a Dragon Lance, as well as a Ring of Aquila. He's got incredible amount of stats. Now that he's been able to get some of that farm, you can't really focus him down anymore. It's going to cost you too many of your abilities, too much of a commitment. Where then Digital Chaos will turn the tide with Weehaw and Moo.
I cannot believe that DC right now is in such a good position. If you just look at the net worth of all three cores, they lead the game by a hefty margin, and EHOME gonna go for a smoke. They feel it right now. EHOME, they're reading this game. They're saying, we are behind. Our lineup is meant to fight. This Razor will not scale nearly as well as this Invoker. And they're gonna feel pressure to make moves, but
pull back here from Moo at the right time with the Blink Dagger, and he'll actually head back into the Radiant jungle at the right time too, it seems. EHOME have moved away with their smoke, and it's now going to start fading away. Fenrir's hits already popped the jump forward by Moo. He actually jumped ahead of that Burrow strike, perfectly timed. Moo, happenstance, he goes for the kill and dodges a gank by Old 11. Now we actually find Old 11 himself, be able to hit him with the Chakram. And DC, they can go for this tier 2. They still have a great position. Without EHOME having all 5 members, I can't imagine they're going to be able to stop this push.
yeah, and you notice Ice up at top, trying to pressure. This is what you want out of the anti-mage in this game, and DC just going to get this tier 2 for free, and they don't really find the angle to set up the Sand King.
Tier 2 sacrificed. It's giving Ice a bit of space here for the Battle Fury finish, but it's still going to be a very long road for EHOME to make the recovery.
And this Invoker still going to get a very decent Aghanim's timing right now, and EHOME, they feel the need to try to defend, but unable to do so, and they're trying to set up kills with their Sand King and allow their anti-mage to try to split push and get farmed. Because Ice can still have a very good game as long as 1 or 2 fights swing correctly for his team. But they need to buy him so much time right now. He is so far behind.
He's gonna find the perfect mana voids for them to be able to win a fight. Timbersaw's gonna have to drop low on mana, or Invoker will. And they're gonna have to hit an incredible mana void that turns the tides. Now Fender wants to be caught. Disruption. There is no save whatsoever. EHOME.
Oh, I might just passively walk away.
All right, he's going to be pursued out. Moo once again, 1 step ahead of that Burrow strike. He is going to be X marks the spot, so right outside the base. Doesn't look like EHOME can do anything about it. In fact, Moo, he says, if you can't do anything about it, I'll bring the fight. He is
so far in right now.
Right next to the tier 3s. He's hit by a torn. Bounced up at half HP. The Sunstrike is it! Nails him just like that. Old 11 drop, and Digital Chaos, they smell the blood in the water. They're going for the tier 3s already.
22 minutes in, they are looking so good right now. Ice trying to make whatever he can happen at this bottom lane, but Old 11 waiting for the epicenter. This is the only thing that's going to be able to save EHOME in this fight right now, and might just actually die again.
Old 11! Down 50 seconds, a bow comes through, hits the resolution in the back, but Digital Chaos, they seemingly can't be stopped. Old Chicken's on the front lines. He's dealing a lot of damage. Gotta be careful, but he's immediately gonna be taken down. It's all the disruption. It's perfectly timed. Lottie still hit by the Old Chicken. It comes right back up and falls down. Digital Chaos feeling themselves right now. Taking a lane of rags.
They're just gonna hit mid,
and they immediately go for the tier 3 mid. They say we can end this right here.
Ice has to think about coming back right now. They don't have their Sand King available for another 20 seconds. He still has epicenter, but they are gonna be repelled as they don't have this creep wave behind them anymore.
All right, Digital Chaos. They give us one hell of an early aggressive push, reading the game perfectly, but they are finally going to back out. Moo is going to run into Ice here, gets a little damage on him. Sunstrike, not going to reveal the positioning of Ice. who TPs himself away in the trees.
Still, this is a very early Rax to be taken against an anti-mage team, and EHOME, they had to commit the buyback to the Sand King, effectively ruining his game. The Naga Siren even leapfrogging him in net worth.
Look at that. Boots of Travel going to be coming in for the Timbersaw. Boo is also going to pick up a Hood and almost picks up Old 11's life as well. Still has the opportunity to do so. Old 11 has to juke out the Whirling Death, blinks himself away.
He still has a blink available, though.
He could still pursue out, but he realizes that might be a little bit too far. His team is not around for miles.
But they can still take this slowly, especially since they grab this melee Rax up at top. This range one won't regenerate either. If DC win one team fight, that's going to mean an immediate 2 sets of Rax in favor of them. And for EHOME's lineup, I don't think they can recover against that.
I mean, look how many fresh items just got picked up by Digital Chaos. If you couldn't repel them last time, how are you going to do it this time? With Guardian Greaves, a Hood on Moo with Boots of Travel, you've got Resolution with a fresh BKB, and Viha, which I can presume is going to be a BKB as well.
Yeah, and I think they're waiting for the next Roshan, potentially, as up at top, Ice continuing to just farm.
Zoxa, his Elder Titan, 1-0-9 right now. He's even got a 4-staff, just to be able to get that extra bit of kiting if EHOME try and pursue him out.
Right now, DC looking very good right now. Sharp on the map as EHOME trying to find whatever farm they can. They have to prep for this next fight as at bottom, Old 11 getting real low.
The pullback of the Chakra. The Sand King falls once again to the bloodthirsty Moo.
Who has gone absolutely off in this game. 7-1 and 6. His Timbersaw leading the way for DC. Multiple pickoffs for him right now, and DC, they feel their strength. They're gathering up for this mid push, and EHOME can't afford to lose this one. Ice might even think about coming back early for this.
We heard him in the winter interview just this morning. Moo, he didn't play so hot in that game number 1, and he had that moment of reflection. He said to himself, why am I playing bad if I could just play good instead? Now he's going to push forward, dives into Fenrir, will be able to hit the Chakram, almost finish him off in combo. Now he's got to retreat though. The rest of DC await his response. They will get over the line with the Timber Chain. And the rest of DC calmly waiting outside the base. Moo just pulling out random blinks at this point.
Still shows you how unkillable he is, though. He's able to just immediately walk into 4 different heroes, and it's EHOME that are getting repelled inside their own base. Not the position that you want to be in. And at bottom, Ice. Maybe they're thinking of forcing a blink on him, but not going to be able to catch up.
Ice will be able to get to the side shop here. Does not have a TP scroll, so if Moo finds him, Ice may still end up falling, but no one else is there to pick up the Animage. Instead, they're at the mid lane. Resolution, he's here, gets the wave onto Old 11. EHOME not turning around though.
Almost a 20k gold lead for DC. One more fight could just tip them over the edge, but we saw earlier today, even that isn't going to be the defining factor, as you eventually are going to have to take a team fight against EHOME, and their Sand King still does have a decent amount of farm, and we haven't seen a big epicenter out of him quite yet.
They're hunting for Ice. One of these times, he's going to push out like that, and they're going to be able to nail him. Guess where he's blinking to, and Moo will catch up to him. But in the meantime, Digital Chaos will have an opportunity for Roshan here. Doesn't look like EHOME, they're not gonna try and contest here. They're just gonna go for the split push. They're gonna try and take that tier 2 of the top lane and give themselves a little bit of gold in their coffers.
DC, this is what they were waiting for. They have this dire side advantage. They're gonna pick up the Roshan on the Weehaw. Gonna make their next push even stronger.
Tier 2 not even dead just yet. The torrent will immediately land on Zoxa. Provides the defense, keeping the tier 2 alive. Moo jumping forward. Okay, that's a missed Chakram, but Lanham, either way, looks like it wouldn't matter. He immediately TP'd out. No one there with the disable.
Yeah, DC, they really want to be in a position where they just push out all these lanes and they can go straight down one of them, but EHOME trying to split up the map as much as they possibly can. DC, they don't want to spend time pushing out lanes, and it looks like with this next set of items coming in, they're just going to want to go for it.
Which is why Old 11 doing what he's doing. He didn't TP away at all. He had the TP scroll available. Instead, he just hit himself in the trees of this top lane. And as soon as he feels comfortable that Digital Chaos have actually moved to another side of the map. Who's going to keep up the pressure at this top lane, hoping he can force DC back. Now, Lanham needs to be careful with that X. There's highly mobile heroes on DC who can still catch up to him even after the X pulls him back, but not able to snag him up this time.
And EHOME.
They get up Resolution. BKB gonna be perched up. The physical damage is rapidly overwhelming Resolution's HP, but it gets the swap away. The blink board by Ice. Elder Titan's ult doesn't land, but Ice, they may still be able to catch him. The stop goes down. They got him. Target to finish him off. The pure damage cleans through the animation's help.
DC, they're just gonna march down this bottom lane now without this anti-mage available. He does not have buyback, and they're gonna all in on this Sand King with this epicenter, but EHOME, they are not looking very good right now as DC just starting to march down bottom.
Blink dagger up for Lanham.
Oh, this is terrible. They needed the Sand King in position, but instead he gets caught out, and this is going to slow down the defense.
They are not going to be able to get the follow-up initiation on the Weehaw like they hoped. Weehaw, he's still on Agents and BKB though. They need some sort of backline initiation, but I'm not even sure who they go for. Look at all these heroes, they're so tanky. Misery's got Guardian Greaves, Zoxa in the back at 1200 HP as well. And the two frontliners, you can pretty much forget about Moo. 1900, they're gonna go for Wee now. Looks like they're hoping to be able to just pop that Aegis for free without using any big time ultimates, but Wee gets away once again.
DC pushing in this bottom wave. Exposed Drax as Ice. Trying to just dodge this fight. And EHOME trying to stall up as much as they possibly can, as they don't have the best angle for Old 11 to channel his epicenter. Bottom. He can't afford to give this up.
No, the sun goes down. Old Chicken pops the BKB just in time, but now a quick retreat from Digital Chaos. And that is now a BKB wasted. DC will wait it out and re-enter as the BKB falls.
They want to continue going for this. This should be a bottom racks going down for them as there it goes. EHOME, here we go.
Burrow strike, Resolution stunned up for a time, but Old 11 nice dodge there with the sandstorm, but it's safe inside the trees. Disruption laid out, has to blink away, will be able to get away from that one, but now the one is the upgrade, down the back, Zoxa on the horse, nails 3, Ice, he tries to rebuttal, can't finish him up with the Mana Void. It was a good one, it did a good amount of damage, but nobody from DC fall, and they're all sitting about half HP, cancel that, already up to 3/4 as the Guardian Greaves goes off, and a full lane of Rax is down.
And that top lane of Rax is also pushed out. DC going for the throw right now. They understand, 3 dead. A very quick win by DC, and incredibly well played, and this is not the EHOME we saw yesterday, or maybe DC are just that good.
DC! What is happening to this team? They just keep on getting better and better.
Misery just half smile right there. Knows this job isn't completely over yet, but what a performance.
He's got to feel real good about that one. They just brought EHOME to their knees, and you could see EHOME, a lot of emotion going on.